Questions over the impact of a DUP Conservative alliance were raised by Sinn Féin. The party's new team of MPs were also in London to be allocated their new offices at Westminster. Like the DUP, they've increased their tally of seats. But unlike their former partners in government, they have no intention of taking their seats in the House of Commons. And the party had a warning about the future government being propped up by the DUP.
The British government have to be neutral here. From the Good Friday Agreement, that's part of as a co-guarantor of that Good Friday Agreement. And that's what they have to stick to. So they have to be ensuring that they're representing all the citizens. I don't think that's possible when they go into a cozy up to a partnership with the DUP. But there's big issues. But any deal has to come back to Stormont. All roads need to lead back into Stormont.
Sinn Féin's concern over the DUP and Conservative deal was echoed by a most unlikely source. Former Conservative Prime Minister Sir John Major, who played a significant role early in the peace process, voiced his uneasiness in a radio interview.
But yet, your party is rubbishing that deal before you've even seen the detail.
Well, I don't think that's the case at all. What we're clearly saying is that we don't have the detail of the deal. We're just out of a meeting with James Brokenshire, who's telling us himself that he knows no details of the deal. So until we know what is in the deal, we'll not be commenting one way or the other as to whether it's good or bad or indifferent.
But but the party has concern.
The party clearly has concerns. I mean, at the moment we're in the middle of the negotiations to re-establish the executive. That is our focus at the minute, that's our priority, and it should be the priority of the DUP. We've been in discussions with the DUP since yesterday morning, and clearly our main objective today is to get the re-establishment of the institutions.
OK, I know this is a slightly hypothetical question then, but if Arlene Foster comes out with a deal that brings new money to Northern Ireland, that sees corporation tax devolved with a lesser cost than what we had expected, surely the party will welcome that.
Well, you've answered your own question. It is hypothetical. We don't know what's in the deal. What I would say is that we should know what's in the deal. It should be fully transparent, and we all should know what's in the deal. It should be open. There should be no side deals. And clearly, we want additional resources brought to the executive. We told James Brokenshire this afternoon we need additional resources. There's been £1 billion lost to our economy over the past 7 years. So we're all fighting the same battle in regard to that, but we can't comment on a deal that we know nothing about.
OK, right, I take your point. Paul Maskey, your colleague, was saying earlier today that all roads lead to Stormont. How concerned are you about those talks, given that if there is a deal, effectively the British government and the DUP are singing off the same hymn sheet?
Well, I think all parties around the table are engaged in the discussion at the moment to re-establish the institutions. We're hearing, at least from the DUP, that that is their priority. We need to see that put in stone. We need the DUP to commit to the re-establishment of the institutions, and clearly it will be our priority over the coming days. But no, I don't think it's in any way doomed. I have faith that there's political will there in order to get the institutions re-established.
We have asked this question time and again, but your party, all 7 MPs arrived at Westminster today to go through the induction process, as all new MPs do, but still no plan for the party to take its seats at Westminster?
Absolutely not. Almost 250,000 people voted for Sinn Féin on the understanding...
250,000 people who have no representation in the House of Commons. 250,000
people who understood our position in relation to abstentionism. If there was ever an election where abstentionism was raised as an issue prior to the election, it was certainly this. So people know what they voted for. I think what's happened clearly in this election is Northern Nationalists have turned their back on Westminster, and I think the results clearly show that.
OK, Sinn Féin's Alicia McCallion, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.